Today I want to briefly comment on Palantir's demo day. I've got a lot going on right now, so I don't have time to produce a full-length analysis just yet, with Tesla's earnings report and conference call today, but don't worry, I'll get to that in just a few days. So in this video, I want to share my favorite moments from the event and what it means for the business of PLTR. And if you haven't gotten a chance to watch the event, I made a highlight supercut linked in the description, which is a little over half the time of the full presentation without the extended technical discussion that I edited last night. Alright, key moments. I'll start off with two quotes that I really enjoyed. Quote, "We think of our platforms as operating systems for the modern enterprise. That word operating is so important to us. We are not just a data platform. We're not analytics. We're trying to make our customers better, not just smarter. Analytics give you insights. How do you turn these insights into decisions? How do you turn those decisions into alpha?" So basically, this was Shyam Sankar stepping back, taking a step back on what Palantir is all about. They're about creating the platforms as operating systems for the modern enterprise, and I just urge you to take a moment to think about that for yourself and what it means and what you think that means, because when I heard him say that something really clicked for me and my understanding of Palantir. It's basically not just Foundry, not just Gotham, not even really Apollo. It's how everything comes together to be able to solve problems, generate alpha, and create solutions for whatever the context may be. Alright, moving on to the second quote. Quote, "At Palantir, we build Iron Man suits, not robots. Our goal is to protect and augment our warfighters, not replace them," end quote. So again, Palantir really does a great job of serving their customers, which would be the government, in this instance with Palantir Gotham, and they know what to build and what information to pull from and what to provide in these contexts. It's about empowering the soldiers, it's about empowering those that are in charge, and the whole organization, whatever it may be. And then they showed this very interesting graphic which had Snowflake and some of the other software companies, and then Palantir just head and shoulders above all of them because of their power of their products and services and what they can accomplish way beyond those other names as so-called competitors that get thrown around with Palantir in the conversation. So I just really enjoyed this graphic that they included, and it gave more insight in how Palantir is delivering platforms that cannot be found elsewhere. And then we got to my favorite part of the event, which was the Gotham demo, this Hollywood-esque demo of Gotham and what it can do in a real world context. So I'll just play a sped up version of it right now. I think it was just a great demonstration. I was hoping they were going to do something more like this with Foundry and Apollo, but I guess the Gotham part of it just lended itself to this kind of movie style demonstration of what the software can do. So I found that very engaging, and it showed the full software stack of Gotham. I did have a few gripes from the event, and my first impression was that the speakers were obviously just reading off of their scripts, which is quite frustrating, and I know that's not a big problem, but having the presenters be more engaging could go a long way. I think even one of the first guys was laughing at some points during the script, or maybe I just heard that wrong, but I just feel like they could have done a much better job with even getting people to maybe memorize parts of their scripts so that it wouldn't just seem like this dull event for many parts of it. That being said, they did do a great job with the animations and the aforementioned Gotham demonstration, and I think for anyone that watched the event in its entirety really did get a sense of what Palantir can do with each of their three platforms, Gotham, Apollo, and Foundry. They did do a good job demonstrating each of those three. Just some of the parts of the event were not as engaging as they perhaps could have been with all the technical jargon that they love to throw in there. Alright, Foundry. So Foundry should be the key to ever-increasing profitability in the future, and the technicals of Foundry were the majority of the focus during this event, and it's basically a workflow management system that can do nearly anything with nearly any input, which is what makes it so hard to conceptualize and thus explain, even during an event with the sole purpose of demonstration. But yeah, I think Foundry looked great during the event. I was able to understand many corporate applications of the software they were showing, so I think they did a great job with Foundry. And moving on to Gotham, Gotham can be a real-time active war simulator, as we saw during the Hollywood-esque demo. It can take in all sorts of data from the field and contextualize it in a unified and synchronized way for even someone with just a laptop in the field to access in any environment. And then Apollo. Apollo, the software as a service system, is essentially a top-of-the-line data storage system with AI data management. And out of the three, Apollo seems to be the least easy to understand the direct applications of, and is arguably the least important at this present moment, considering Foundry has all the corporate applications and Gotham has, of course, the majority of the government applications for which Palantir provides. Overall, Demo Day further excited myself as a long-term shareholder, but I can understand how some of you may have been disappointed because, usually no matter what, and because of human nature, we can all get way too hyped about something and wildly elevate our expectations to an unreasonable degree. Ultimately, however, Palantir put on a not-so-live Demo Day that nonetheless showed those that watched how unique their offering is and how their software could theoretically make PLTR the quote, most important software company in the world, as Alex Karp has said before.
We are going to be the most important software company in the world, and people will figure out what that's valued over a long period of time, and we're very comfortable with investors toying around. It could be like this, it could be like that. We are going to deliver the world's best software with the world's most efficient way of delivering it. Investors will decide what's that is worth to them. And I think you'll find in a number of years that there will be a consensus Palantir is a truly special software company that is arguably the most important software company in the world.
Whether that will translate over to hundreds of dollars in stock price once businesses and governments around the world realize this and start onboarding Palantir's platforms remains to be seen. But I think that could definitely be a probable outcome for Palantir 5 to 10 years out. And I hope all of the analysts were paying attention yesterday because Palantir showed off a revolutionary suite of next generation upgrades to their platforms. They're dubbing it 21 because of obviously 2021, and they're going Foundry 21, Gotham 21, and that is how they're describing it and marketing it on their website. I'll get to all of that in a future video and what that means specifically. And with Palantir stock rising above $40 at all-time highs, I think some retailers and definitely institutional buyers have realized how important what Palantir explained yesterday was. I haven't seen any research put out yet from any comments from institutional investors on the event from yesterday, but I'll be sure to cover that if and when it materializes. Anyway, I know many of you wanted my comments on the event from yesterday, so I wanted to, at the very least, get this out for all of you. And I just now saw the stock cross over $45 while I was editing the audio to this. And I just want to say that can really go to show you how big money can move against what people are expecting. We saw that with Tesla's battery day. We thought perhaps the market would be shocked by what Tesla would announce at their event, and instead the stock sold off heavily following the event. And just the opposite with Palantir, it appears, with Palantir soaring double digits towards the end of the trading day following Palantir's demo day. So a big congrats to all of the Palantir shareholders, and I will be back with a stock update video towards the end of the week. Much more content to follow. Until next time.